10 types of men you need to ignore. Hey everybody, welcome to Reality Relationship Channel. Today we want to talk about 10 types of men you need to ignore. Make sure to watch until the end, because it's one of the most amazing hacks you have ever seen. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more videos, and much more. Every woman has at least one man in her life that is driving her crazy. You need to know, however, which types of men you should never waste your time on. Here are the 10 types of men you need to ignore. It can be hard to avoid being distracted by all the men in the world. But don't worry, there are 10 types you should never let into your life. The following are types of men that should be avoided at all costs. Some men think they have a right to enter your life, even when you've made it clear that they're not welcome. Here are 10 types of men you need to ignore. 1. The guy who just wants to hook up. A majority of people in the US are heterosexual. This heteronormativity makes it difficult for some people to openly express their sexuality because of the social pressures that they face. One way that heteronormativity can lead to sexual repression is with the stigma around sex. Some people are not open about their sexuality because they are afraid to be ridiculed or judged by society, which can lead to feelings of shame, guilt, and isolation. Despite this, we believe that sex is a natural act that should be enjoyed with someone you love. If you are looking to have a casual hookup, you may have a hard time finding someone willing to open up about your sexuality. 2. The guy who's only looking for a girlfriend. Men typically give off signals to communicate where they are in the dating process, and these signals can be interpreted by women. Men who are looking for a girlfriend typically want to find a woman who is interested in committing to them and seeing if they can work out as a couple. On the other hand, men who are looking for one-night stands don't care about making any future commitments at all. Women should always be careful not to confuse these two types of men. The need to ignore the guy who is only looking for a girlfriend has to do with dealing with men who are not interested in monogamy and who may want to get their needs met without having to find a new partner. 4. The guy who is too clingy. When a guy is too clingy, this can be a sign of insecurity. If the woman is not interested in the guy, she may feel as if he will not be able to handle being rejected, and so she will ignore him to avoid hurting his feelings. The woman may also feel as if she is being gaslighted by the guy and that he will not respect her boundaries. Many women need to ignore the guy who is too clingy because this can be an indication of other possible red flags in their relationship. Some characteristics that may be problematic are that the man is not able to emotionally regulate himself or he has too much separation anxiety. These traits can indicate potential problems with intimacy, anger management, and attachment. 5. The guy who doesn't know how to take a hint. Market forces say that a woman should always be looking for a better man, but in the moment of temptation, she would be wise to pretend that the worst thing possible happened. If a woman sees a guy who is unwilling or unable to take a hint, then she should do her best to make him feel like he's in over his head. They'll drink too much and eventually be too drunk to care when she slips out. Women need to ignore the guy who doesn't know how to take a hint. 6. The guy who is needy and needs constant reassurance from you. The reason that women should ignore the guy who is needy and needs constant reassurance from you is that it may not be worth your time if he doesn't respect you enough to give you space to live their own life. If the guy is too needy for space, then find out if he has any mental health issues or if he has a history of abusive behavior, as they might need more attention than most. Women need to ignore a guy who is needy and needs constant reassurance from them. This isn't a sign of love, but rather a sign that the guy has low self-esteem. The more desperate he seems, the more likely he will cling to you and be unable to let go. If you continue to invest in this type of person, you run the risk of being abandoned as soon as they gain confidence or someone else offers more attention. 7. The guy who always has an excuse not to hang out with you. A woman should ignore the guy who always has an excuse not to hang out with her because this might be a sign that he is not interested in her. Other signs of disinterest would be when he does not make eye contact or when he brushes off her touch and laughs at anything she says. However, there are other explanations for why a man may avoid spending time with a woman, such as shyness or fear of commitment. The woman should ignore the guy who always has an excuse not to hang out with her because he is actively demonstrating avoidance behaviors. This could be due to a number of reasons, including that he is rejecting her, doesn't find her attractive anymore, or is looking for someone else. It also could be because he does not have enough time for this relationship or simply has no interest in it. Ignoring him will allow him to either pursue her romantically or move on and find someone else. 8. The one who is always talking about himself and what he wants. Sociologists have found that many women are unhappy with how much time is spent by their husbands talking about themselves and what they want, rather than listening to the needs of the wife. Women are also not happy with how much money is spent exclusively on things for themselves or their hobbies. Women feel like their husbands are trying to control them by using their resources to keep them dependent on him. The behavior of a man who always talks about himself and what he wants is not a trait that women need to focus on. Women should pay more attention to relationships with men who are more open, honest, or caring. 9. The one who is always trying to come up with a plan for everything. There is a recent trend among males to put forward a plan for each and every situation that arises. This can be an extremely frustrating occurrence for women, as they often have their own plan in mind and the male's proposal may not take into account the needs of females. The man who is always trying to come up with a plan for everything is just trying to be dominant and impress women around him. Women should ignore him because he likely has some insecurity issues. This phenomenon can be attributed to a couple of factors. 10. The one who doesn't care about your feelings and needs. The one who doesn't care about your feelings and needs typically is a borderline personality disorder. A borderline personality disorder is a mental illness that typically falls under the category of personality disorders, which refers to an individual's unhealthy relationship with themselves or others. It can also be linked to bipolar disorder or depression, as these conditions are characterized by dramatic mood changes. Some signs of borderline personality disorder are volatile emotions, extreme reactions to rejection, lack of empathy for others, and an unstable sense of self. Many people have a desire to be with someone who cares about them and is compassionate. In conclusion, men are great, but you should be cautious when it comes to dating. Men will make this world a better place if we can put ourselves out there and do our best to limit the number of losers in the world. If you're looking for love, it's important that you don't let men define what kind of man you want to date. There are millions of guys who would love to spend time with you without asking for anything in return. Also, not all men are the same. No matter how great he seems, it's still not worth giving up on your own self-respect. Keep this list of 10 types of men in mind and remember to ignore them when they come around. There are always boyfriends, husbands, and fathers out there who will respect you for being an independent woman with her own dreams. We hope you enjoyed this video. Also, we prepared a course with excellent content relevant to the relationship. That will guarantee your success, and we put the link in the description. If you like to prepare it, which we strongly recommend, you can use the link in the description below to buy this great course and succeed in your relationship. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and like our video to support us. And turn on notifications so you don't miss more videos. See you at the next video.